Good morning! Welcome back. We haven't made a video in a really long time, Grayson. Since last Thursday. Can you believe that?
No.
Tell everybody what we did this weekend. Do you remember?
We went to our cousin.
Went to our cousins. Went up to my sister and brother-in-law's up north of Grand Rapids, Michigan. What did we do on Saturday? Where'd we go when we were up there? Skiing. Yeah. Took the boys skiing. Got to go do that. And played in the snow lots and had lots of fun. So it was a good time, but we're back around the farm. We got a few things happening, a few things to update you guys on. First of all, on Friday there, I didn't have a ton going on, so we didn't make a video. I feel like I had something that took up half the day. I don't remember what it was. But anyway, we got some snow. And then we left on Friday afternoon, or late afternoon, to go up north there. And so I haven't had time to push the driveways out. This morning and overnight tonight, we've had a nice coating of ice on everything. And so that's why the boys don't have school today. The roads are quite slippery, as well as just the driveways and everything else. But mine still has a layer of snow under it from Friday, so we're going to go push the snow and ice out of the driveways so we can get into our house a little bit easier. And then we're going to work on that F-12 a little bit here this morning. And I don't know what else. We got a few other things going on, I think. Today is Tuesday. Yesterday was Monday, and the reason that I did not make a video yesterday was because I had a super fun civic duty to perform, and got to serve on the county grand jury. It was our first session of first of 4-month term kind of thing. So yeah, I get to do that, which I mean, it was fine. I'm not real thrilled about it, but it is what it is. So that took up most of my day, and by the time I got back here, I just like, well, I'm not gonna film anything today. So sorry for missing that one on you yesterday. It's yeah, it's definitely slippery out here, but we're getting it. I kind of got stuck pulling in my driveway with my truck last night, my Chevy truck, not even the Ram. So, I mean, I made it. I didn't actually get stuck, but I had to back out of it a couple of times with the four-wheel drive on to make it. So, wanted to get the drift that was along the road here pushed out and clear it out so we can get in and out a little bit better. I think it's supposed to warm up here towards the end of this week. I imagine that a lot of this snow is gonna either melt off or get real slushy and super fun. It's gonna get nasty is what I'm saying, just not cold. I think that looks pretty good. Doesn't look like there was a lot of snow there, but my piles got a lot bigger than they were before. It's definitely a heavier, wetter snow with the rain on it here this morning. So hopefully we stay just above freezing and it melts some of this stuff off, especially on the roads, rather than falling right below freezing or right at, and just builds up an ice layer. So far, the ice is not nearly as bad as what we had last year in February. I think we had a really bad ice storm, took a bunch of trees down. I haven't seen any of that yet. Dad did preemptively get the big generator out and ready to go just in case he lost power, but have not yet. Well, we got our driveways cleared out as good as we need to. We still got this project sort of sitting here, and we're not going to do a ton to it right now, but I want to clean up the rest of the transmission case here. There's another little oil sump in the front underneath. There's a drain plug. We're going to pull that out and let it drain, and then we're going to get some diesel fuel or something and get that sludge off the bottom. It's really not bad at all, but there is some. So we'll try and clean that up, and then we'll get some oil put in there. I'll have to do a little research. I'm thinking 80-90 weight, but I'm not 100% sure. And I did notice the bottom of this oil pan cover is sort of corroded, or not corroded, just sludgy. We need to clean that up, so we're going to do that too. Anybody want to buy some 60-year-old gear oil before I dump this in the tote? Too late. We're going to dump it in there. I want to do it kind of slow, see if we have any water in the bottom of it. It should be in the bottom of that pail if there is, and also try not to spill it everywhere, which that pail is full. It's going to be a little difficult. we do? Not great. We didn't do great. See any water. It's really clean. Just a little bit. Sludgy. Cool. I would say there was less than a quarter of a cup of water in there. From what Michael Jackie told me, I was expecting there to be a gallon of water in there. All right, so there's oil down there yet, and there's a little sump right here, and it's got a plug, and I believe this one is a 3/8. Okay. Okay. I got that plug broken loose. It's a 3/8 drive. I thought maybe it was half, but it's not. It's 3/8. Now there shouldn't be that much oil in this time. Last time we about spilled it. Whoa, there was a little water. Did you see that? Yeah. That's okay. Alright, I went and got a little diesel fuel. We're going to splash this around inside that sump, see if we can dissolve some of the sludge out of there. We might have to resort to some brake clean, but thought I'd start with this. And brush of some sort. See what happens here. Alright, well, I've gotten it cleaned up pretty well. We used some diesel fuel to get the heavy stuff off, and then I threw a little gasoline in there to kind of dissolve the lighter stuff. There's a lot of crap kind of behind there and up under this lip and stuff that there's no way I'm going to get it out of there short of disassembling this entire thing. And I'm not doing that because everything looks to be in really good shape, and there's no reason for me to totally disassemble it and pull all these gears out. One thing that does concern me a little bit, I don't know if concern is the right word, but question, is if you look down there, you can see some dots or some like gouges in the casting. Is that artifact from actually building the casting, or did we have something floating around in there gouging stuff at some point? I don't know. I don't see anything that would have caused that, so it's more likely that it's just from when they manufactured it. But tough to say for sure. So I'm debating getting a spray bottle with some gasoline in it to try and spray down in some of these cracks and crevices and clean some of that kind of stuff up that I can't get to real good. I don't know how critical it is. I would imagine if we put some gear lube in here, nothing's ever going to give me a problem. But we could run it for a while after we get this thing running, let it dissolve some of that crap off of everything, and then change the oil again and probably do just as effective of a job. But again, that might be 2 or 3 years. So who knows? So, and in my research, I was trying to find this gasket for this cover plate. I cannot find it anywhere that somebody sells one. I can find gasket kits for the engine, the fuel system, all of that, but not for transmission cover or gear case cover or rear end cover or any of those things that I would search for. But I did find a lot of examples where people are just using like an RTV sealant. So that's probably what we'll do. I did hear people talk about getting water into this through the bolt holes, and well, maybe. The bolt holes themselves don't actually go through. They're sealed on the bottom. However, the alignment pin holes do go through, like that one. So I think if we just make sure we seal around those good. But I don't actually think the bolts are through enough that they're letting any water or anything in there. But we can put a good bead of sealant around there, go all the way around all those holes and put the cover back on, it'll seal it up plenty.
Yeah.
The boys are over here playing with Grandpa's phone on the wall. So I said, "You want to learn about phones?" So we dialed Mama's phone number. Now he's talking to Mama. Okay. I think we've got this cleaned up pretty well here. We'll just let her sit for now. But we got to clean up the bottom of that cover and then get some sealant or some oil. I got to figure out how much oil to put in there and probably get some oil. Put it back on. I guess we can put the cover on before we put the oil in. There's a big plug on the top here to add oil. So, you know, that's not hard. But, yeah. The machining standards in 1920s, 30s were a little lower. This is really rough. The gears look good, though. And those are probably bigger gears than what you'd find on most modern high horsepower tractors now. I mean, I don't know. I've never pulled apart transmission in a 8R or anything like that, but I would venture a guess that those are some of the biggest gears that you would see in anything like that. And this has all of 12 horsepower compared to 400, you know? Yeah, just totally different standards back then. It's amazing what yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. It looks great. Oh, yeah. All right, it is almost lunchtime. I have to go pick up a check from a seed customer here today. So we're going to go run and do that, and then we'll come back and see where we're at here. Not the best day to be on the roads, but what you got to do sometimes. All right, I made it back from picking up that check from a customer. I want to get this cover cleaned up here, and I think the easiest way to do it is hot water. It's just got some stuck-on gunk and whatever there, so I don't want to do it inside because the boys are playing in here, so I cleaned off a spot with some hot water, melted some snow off. We're going to set this out here and see what we can do to it. Get myself soaking wet is what I'm going to do, but oh yeah, it's going to clean up. Okay, well, it did clean up quite a bit. Maybe not as good as I thought it might, but it's much better than it was. So I ended up putting a 0-degree nozzle in, got it really hot and really intense pressure, and we got most of it off. So, and I did the other side a little bit more. Got that cleaned up pretty good. So we need to get it dried off. I think I'm going to take a wire brush, emery cloth, something, clean this gasket surface up here. So we got it nice and smooth. Make sure these pins are clean. They don't seem too bad. A little grease on them. Yeah, looks good. Trying to clean this edge up. I started with a piece of emery cloth, and it worked fairly well. But then I thought, I wonder if the little sanding disc on my Dremel will work. And it does for the most part, although this is not perfectly flat. There's some gouges and stuff in it, so, or I don't know if it's gouging, just, it's not machined perfectly, let's put it that way. So some of it doesn't come off, or it would take a lot of effort to get it off. Clearly it didn't matter before, so it won't matter now. But we are going to do the best job we can here. There's a spot there. Grooved right out. All right, well, I have cleaned this up as good as it's going to get, I think. I don't feel too bad about it. It's not perfect, but it looks good. This is nice. It's not real smooth, but it is smooth enough that some RTV sealant will seal it. So I need to look at the mating surface here. This one was pretty good to start with. I might get some emery cloth and just go over it real quick. We'll get some cleaner and spray it off. I should take this off. while we're in the taking stuff apart mode here, I think I'm going to pull this cover off of this. I don't know if that's a good idea or not, because once again, I won't be able to find a gasket for it. Make one. But this is essentially an oil pump. It's just a simple gear-driven pump there, and it supplies the oil via this linkage, these two oil tubes that are molded into that cast iron piece there, to this. I'm going to compare it to a three-point hitch, but essentially it's a rock shaft that raises and lowers cultivators. Got a lever here that's up or down, and I think that's a pretty rare option on this vintage of tractor. Like that's sort of high end, let's call it, option for the time frame that this tractor was built. So I don't know, I'm thinking I might take that apart. And one of the things that sort of, I wouldn't say concerns me, but what I can't really figure out right now is why, with this transmission in neutral like it is, I can't just spin this shaft. Seems like I ought to be able to spin that freely, and I'm not sure what is preventing it other than it goes into that pump. And so I'm wondering if something in there is frozen up, and that's why I need to take it apart. On a positive start here, the bolts all came loose. Is there oil in there? Nope. We'll take these out and see what we can find. Okay, it's not coming apart where I thought it was going to come apart. I don't know if that's good or bad just yet, but we've got it split there. So I'm going to keep working it off of there. Let's see here. There's some pins. I gotta put my phone down. Sorry. Yeah, I would say this pump was the problem. Look at now. You can see those gears moving. They were just hung up, stuck there. Could be they had pressure. This little doohickey here is pressure relief or bypass, and it could just be that it had pressure on it and it wouldn't allow it to spin until you got that opened, which I couldn't do by hand. I don't know how many horsepower that I can generate, but it is apparently less than 12. There we go. Those are some hefty gears and quite the casing around it. They're a little dirty, but clean. You can see where they sat down in oil for a long, long time, and then this side here was dry. They just needed broke free and cleaned up. I'm going to pull them off there. We're going to clean that surface up, and we might just put that one back together. Okay, I've gotten everything cleaned up. It spins nice and free. Cover's clean. There was not a gasket in here. I'm sure that it needs to be sealed. We're just going to put it back on and leave it loose for right now. I'm not going to tighten the bolts all up, and we'll just take the cover back off and throw some sealant or whatever in there when I figure out what should be in there. Okay, well, we made some progress here today, so I'm happy with that. This turns nice and free. I'm fairly certain it turns this way. I was like, wonder which way it turns. Pretty sure it's that way because when I engage the PTO, it actually turns in this direction. The other direction, the drive, it would turn just because there's no friction on it, but the drives are kind of sloped or whatever, so that it would not turn backwards. Yeah. Anyway, I'm learning. We're figuring it out. So hopefully we can get that cover put back on tomorrow, and get some oil in there or something. And that might be as far as this project goes for a while. I don't know. We've got this thing here. I thought about taking this apart because, yeah, I don't know. We at least got to try and drain some oil out of there if there's any oil in it, and look at it apart or look at it a little bit. I don't know if I really want to take this whole end cap off or not. But we got to make it move. So we might need to. We'll see. Anyway, after one day back making a video for you guys here today, this one right now that I'm doing, I don't know that I'm going to be able to do one tomorrow. I have lots going on tomorrow. None of it is really filmable. I have a meeting with the Andersons tomorrow. I've got their agronomist coming out. We're looking at some of their products for starter fertilizer and some in-season foliar type stuff. So we'll go over that a little bit. If I can convince one of them to be on camera, maybe we'll do that for tomorrow. But I got that meeting in the morning. I've got another guy coming to drop off a seed check tomorrow. Small one, so I just, whatever. No big deal, but we'll get that taken care of. And then tomorrow afternoon, I am going up to Jonesville to judge FFA contests. It's time in Michigan here for the FFA leadership contests, things like public speaking, conduct of meetings, Parley Pro, all that kind of stuff. And it's one of my favorite things and ways to give back is to go and judge those, as I was heavily involved in FFA when I was a student back in high school. So I've got that tomorrow afternoon, which is going to take a while, and then I might try and take a trailer with me and pick up my steel for my barn that should be in and done and up there. I got a couple other places I got to stop and go, so I don't know that I'm going to be able to do much here. We'll see. But anyway, thanks for watching this one. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Go over to Farm Focus, check out the merchandise we've got over there. Grab yourself a hoodie. They're super nice, great quality stuff, great people to work with, and I appreciate it. So thank you, and have a great night.